Hello everyone, peace be upon you all. Welcome to this video where we learn about Aristotle's Metaphysics. Why? Because to understand Eunomius, Ibn Taymiyyah, and Jahm ibn Safwan, we need to have a general idea about metaphysics, specifically Aristotelian metaphysics. So let's begin by reading the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy. Aristotle's Metaphysics, first published October 8th, 2000, with substantive revision on November 21st, 2020. The first major work in the history of philosophy to bear the title Metaphysics was the treatise by Aristotle that we have come to know by that name. But Aristotle himself did not use that title or even describe his field of study as metaphysics. The name was evidently coined by the 1st century CE editor who assembled the treatise we know as Aristotle's Metaphysics out of various smaller selections of Aristotle's works. The title Metaphysics, literally after the physics, very likely indicated the place the topics discussed therein were intended to occupy in the philosophical curriculum. They were to be studied after the treatises dealing with nature, Metaphysics. In this entry, we discussed the ideas that are developed in Aristotle's treatise. References in the text to the books of Aristotle's Metaphysics are given by Greek letter, in order with corresponding Roman numeral given in parentheses. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they are 14 books. Translations are taken from Reeve 2006. Then we have here the contents. 1. The subject matter of Aristotle's Metaphysics. 2. The categories. 3. The role of substance in the study of being qua being. 4. The fundamental principles, axioms. 5. What is substance? 6. Substance, matter, and subject. 7. Substance and essence. 8. Substances as hylomorphic compounds. 9. Substance and definition. 10. Substances and universals. 11. Substance as cause of being. 12. Actuality and potentiality. 13. Unity reconsidered. 14. Theology. Now let's begin the subject matter of Aristotle's Metaphysics. Aristotle himself described his subject matter in a variety of ways as first philosophy, or the study of being qua being, or wisdom, or theology. A comment on these descriptions will help to clarify Aristotle's topic. In Metaphysics A.1, Aristotle says that everyone takes what is called wisdom, Sophia, to be concerned with the primary causes and the starting points or principles. And it is these causes and principles that he presupposes to study in this work. It is his customary practice to begin an inquiry by reviewing the opinions previously held by others, and that is what he does here, as Book A continues with a history of the thought of his predecessors about causes and principles. These causes and principles are clearly the subject matter of what he calls first philosophy, but this does not mean that the branch of philosophy that should be studied first. Rather, it concerns issues that are in some sense the most fundamental or at the highest level of generality. Aristotle distinguished between things that are better known to us and things that are better known in themselves, and maintain that we should begin our study of a given topic with things better known to us and arrive ultimately at an understanding of things better known in themselves. What does things better known in themselves mean? Let's continue and we might understand. The principles studied by first philosophy may seem very general and abstract, but they are, according to Aristotle, better known in themselves. However remote they may seem from the world of ordinary experience. Still, since they are to be studied only by one who has already studied nature, which is the subject matter of the physics, they are quite appropriately described as coming after the physics. I still don't understand. I think after a long time of reflection that the things that are better known to us are the things of the world of ordinary experience, which is nature. These things are better known to us than things that are general, very general and abstract. However, these very general and abstract things are known in themselves. Like they do not need a medium or a middleman in order to arrive at that knowledge. We already know it. All we have to do is to reflect in order to arrive or realize what we already know. So, we arrive from something that is particular to something that is general that we already know, but which initially seemed remote and uh, ambiguous, vague. So let's read it again with this understanding. Aristotle distinguished between things that are better known to us and things that are better known in themselves, and maintained that we should begin our study of a given topic with things that are better known to us and arrive ultimately to an understanding of things better known in themselves. The principles studied by first philosophy may seem very general and abstract, but they are, according to Aristotle, better known in themselves, however remote they may seem from the world of ordinary experiences. Aristotle's description, the study of being qua being, is frequently and easily misunderstood, for it seems to suggest that there is a single alibite special subject matter, being qua being, that is under investigation. But Aristotle's description does not involve two things: one, a study, and two, a subject matter, being qua being, for he did not think that there is any such subject matter as being qua being. Rather, his description involves three things: one, a study; two, a subject matter, that is being, and three, a manner in which the subject matter is studied, qua being, in the sense of being itself, I think, pure being. Aristotle's Greek word that has been Latinized as qua means roughly insofar as or under the aspect. A study of x qua y, then, is a study of X that concerns itself solely with the Y aspect of X. So Aristotle's study does not concern some recondite subject matter known as being qua being. Rather, it is a study of being, or better, of beings, of things that can be said to be, that that studies them in a particular way as beings, insofar as they are beings. Okay. Of course, first, philosophy is not the only field of inquiry to study beings. Natural science and mathematics also study beings, but in different ways, under different aspects. The natural scientist studies them as things that are subject to the laws of nature, as things that move and undergo change. That is, the natural scientist studies things qua movable, i.e., insofar as they are subject to change. The mathematician studies things qua countable and measurable. The metaphysician, on the other hand, studies them in a more general and abstract way, qua beings. So, first, philosophy studies the causes and principles of beings qua beings. In this strange shape, in Gamma 2, Aristotle adds that for this reason it studies the causes and principles of substances, ousiae. We will explain this connection in section 3 below. In Book E, Aristotle adds another description to the study of the causes and principles of beings qua beings. Whereas natural science studies objects that are material and subject to change, and mathematics studies objects that, although not subject to change, are nevertheless not separate from, i.e., independent of matter, there is still room for a science that studies things, if indeed they are, and if indeed there are any, that are eternal, not subject to change, and independent of matter. Such a science, he says, is theology, and this is the first and highest science. Aristotle's identification of theology, so conceived and with the study of being qua being, has proved challenging to his interpreters. We discussed this identification in section 14 below. Finally, we may note that in Book B, Aristotle delineates his subject matter in a different way. Again, why? By listing the problems or perplexities a priori he hopes to deal with. The problems he hopes to deal with. Characteristic of these perplexities, he says, is that they tie our thinking up in knots. They include the following among others. Are sensible substances the only ones that exist? Or are there others besides them, like nonsensible substances? Is it kinds or individuals that are the elements and principles of things? And if it is kinds, which ones? The most generic or the most specific? Is there a cause apart from matter? Is there anything apart from material compounds? Are the principles limited, either in number or in kind? Are the principles of perishable things themselves perishable? Are the principles universal or particular, And do they exist potentially or actually? Are mathematical objects numbers, lines, figures, points, substances? If they are they separate from or do they always belong to sensible things? And the hardest and most perplexing of all, Aristotle says, are unity and being the substance of things, or are they attributes of some other subject? Are unity and being the subject of things, sorry, are unity and being the substance of things? Or what? Where is the verb? Are unity and being the are unity and being the substance of things? Or are they attributes of some other subject? In the remainder of Book B, Aristotle presents arguments on both sides of each of these issues, and in subsequent books he takes up many of them again, but it is not always clear precisely how he resolves them. And it is possible that Aristotle did not think that the metaphysics contains definitive solutions to all of these perplexities. Okay, cool. And with that, we reach the end of the video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.